Okay, welcome back everybody. Let's take a tour of basic Java program. So here's my starter skeleton code that REPL gives me whenever I start a new Java REPL. So let me do a couple of things here just to adjust my workspace. So I'm going to first of all hide this navigation panel on the left, my file space. So I'll do that by clicking on this top file space icon there. And let me just expand out this middle code editor space a little bit so we can kind of see a little bit better the program. So here's a basic Java program. Now, as you know, when you look at a new programming language, when you encounter a new programming language, don't focus on all of the small, tiny details. Those will come later as your understanding of the language builds. Okay, instead, focus on kind of the big picture. So we have here a program that prints out a message, hello world. So let's first of all see if we can narrow down and find which line, which command does the actual action of the program, printing out hello world. So we kind of comb through our program, and I see this line 3 right here. Okay, that looks pretty promising because inside that line I see hello world, and that's the string that gets printed out on the screen when I run it. So let me run it so we can see for sure. If I look in this right-hand panel, does its thing, and there's hello world. You can see it prints it out right there. So to me, this line 3, this is the one that really does the action of the program, prints out hello world. Okay, so let's see if we can understand that. So it looks like system.out.println. Okay, that's short for print line, println. So system.out.println, hello world, in quotation marks, and we've seen that before. That's a string, just a bit of text, a piece of text that we want to manipulate. And then that's in parentheses. Okay, so that looks like the main stuff of the program is right there. Okay, now you might be wondering, well, what is this other stuff here? Class main, line 1, public static main, string args, all this kind of stuff. Okay, and these close brackets at the end there. Okay, well, all that stuff is basically Java boilerplate. We need that stuff to set up the program, to let it know that it's the main program, and to get it running. We're going to see that pretty much in every Java program that we write. So for now, don't worry too much about all that kind of little detail stuff. Focus on the main action of the program, which is here. Okay, now several things to notice about Java. Those of you who remember JavaScript from the intro class, you might see some similarities. For example, in Java, just like in JavaScript, you see a lot of these grouping symbols, these curly braces. Some people call them brackets. So you see a lot of these grouping symbols. Just like in JavaScript, we use those grouping symbols to set off to tell the compiler where the different blocks of code are, where the different sections of code that go together are. So in Java, you're going to see a lot of those curly braces. And remember that they always have to match up. So if you have an opening, okay, like I do here, if I have an opening, somewhere I've got to have a closing. And you'll notice that REPL kind of tries to help you out. So it tries to highlight. You might notice there's a little highlighting or a box around the closing and opening brace. Also, notice that at the end of each line, now there's only really one line in this program that does stuff. But when we look at multi-line programs, you'll notice at the end of each line where there's a command or a statement, there's a semicolon. We saw that with JavaScript also, so there's another similarity. So each line or command has to end with a semicolon. Okay, so believe it or not, you actually know a little bit of Java already. JavaScript and Java, even though they're different programming languages, you can't interchange them, they do have some similarities. Okay, and so some of the stuff you learned in JavaScript last year is going to carry over and help you out. Even if you haven't learned JavaScript before, as long as you know some programming, whether it's Python, okay, whether it's C, C++, whatever it is, all of those basic concepts are going to help you out.